Esoteric studies and esoteric studies. Playtime is over.
When you go pull up Louisiana. Okay.
Yeah. ATG. Above the dome. Travel freedom. Family. Foundation. Heritage. The missing link. Spiritual miracles. Awakening. The walking space. Time to eat. Food for thought. The metal magician. Holy rainwater. Flows off my altar. Shining through the seasons. Elevate the reason. What's the purpose of life? Cause the living. Death to the conscious. At the end of the day, the last of the Titan. Zombies running rapid. Christ in the capital. Looking over lamp. Repping at the church. Flooded in the air. Rock of the ages. Son of the undead. Rapping. A more rage. I bleed red ink on the page. Words and truth. No signature. Here's the blood. From the visible literature, sitting at the doctor's affair with Otis, having rituals, turn the lights off, you can get real quick, sir. Met Empire Mix, I'm in search for a fix, walking backwards, looking forward, patient waiting, don't ignore it, hoping to look like peace lines, changing forward.
Caught in the trap of freedom. Do you wanna be lost in the trap of freedom? Do you wanna be lost in the trap of freedom?
Walk into light, walk into flight, hawk eyesight, interdimensional terrorite. Fuel for the journey, some late up fuel for the gurney. Color
like
in the
shirt tucked
no need for attorney. I turn the page, feel the trip like the doctor coming out the cage. I'm the lion, dead grain, fixed in stone, no pain. Or working on these other games, attempting to keep my inner sane with lifestyle changes. High damn mountain plains, seven thoughts, no fault, who's to blame? It ain't the same, they take your name. I feel the fun, it ain't no fun if the homie can't have none. I see you run like blue pain, like none. It seems frightening, exciting. I go with streaming lightning. I'm the nigga loafing at night.
We want to be lost in the trap of freedom. Lost in the trap of freedom. Want to be lost in the trap of freedom. Please don't be shut up, thank you. Lost in the trap of freedom.
Yeah. Time, space, obsolete.
Okay,
Located
so
on low. Where it was, it's so below. The permanency of non-movement. ATV. Above the dome. Traffic freedom. Black hole in the metal magician.
Peace, everyone. We're back with First World Radio. We are in the house, in the building, as above, as below, as within, so without. The channel you have come to today. All right, as you see, my beautiful wife is here to my right, and we will be getting it in tonight, and it will be on the sounds of cosmic healing and the words of power. That's what we will be dealing with. All right, so as we get everything together, hopefully y'all can hear us loud and clear. Give us some feedback to make sure that we are clear. And we're going to come all the way down towards the bottom.
Okay.
Oh, that is like...
Is it too big?
No, it's like it's all put together. Word, okay.
Okay. Keep coming down?
Yup, all the way down.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we getting ready to pull this up on y'all. And hopefully y'all responded to us and was able to tell us if we loud and clear. All right, we loud and clear. All right, yep, go.
Keep on going?
No, go back. Okay. Yeah. All right, yeah.
Prayerfully, everybody's day was productive.
No doubt. All right, right there. We're going to come on down. We're going to go right there.
Okay.
All right, so want to make sure. Okay, you got me on this one?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to pull you up so we can see the comments.
Oh, word. Okay. Well, you don't hear this part. All right. So we go to, yeah.
Let's go right here.
All right, there we go. My channel. Okay.
You can talk.
There it is. All right. All right, here we go, y'all. We just getting everything together. All right, so 1 Corinthians 3:16, as you see here on your screen, do you not know that you are the temple of God and the Spirit of God dwells in you? If anyone defiles the temple of God, God will destroy him, for the temple of God is holy, which temple you are. All right. 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. Or do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and you're not your own, for you was bought at a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. All right, so anyone who knows Gnostic information knows that these particular verses deals with Gnosticism, the esoteric. All right? And the problem is that Christians have gotten, as well as Muslims and Jews, and most of the major religions have people worshiping something outside of themselves and searching outside of themselves. All right? Elsewhere. And this is one of the major problems and the distinction that we have to make between those who study Christianity, the surface dwellers, as compared to those who study Gnosticism. Those who deal with the esoteric, not the exoteric. All right, not just the esoteric, because we know that we have to still, feed the flesh, provide drink for the flesh, so forth and so on. And even to bring life to this planet, it comes by way of the flesh. All right, as far as the concrete and concentration of that thought form into existence. However, what we want to make clear here is that we deal with the esoteric. All right. So if I was a Muslim, I will understand Sufism. If I was Hebrew, Israelite, Jew, not Jewish, but Jew, then I will be dealing with the esoteric, which would be Kabbalism, or Kabbalistic teachings. If I was dealing with Buddhism, then I would deal with Zen. All right. If I was dealing with any of these major world religions, it would have to be on a aspect of the hidden teachings, the occult, or the inner mysteries, the inner traditions. All right. Which all of these major world religions are derived from ancient Africa, from Ethiopia and its daughter, Egypt. All right. So the Kushites, or the Tenessians, as they are also referred to as. You have the Tessetians and the Tenessians. This is where this information stems from, which we refer to as Gnosticism. All right, we break this down thoroughly within the origin of Gnosticism, which was a previous video that we did. All right, so we're going to continue on. And so you see right here that, let's right here, 2 Corinthians 13:5 says, do you not know yourself that Jesus Christ is within you, or is in you? So not only is the Spirit, Holy Spirit is in you, God is in you, Christ is in you, hence the term, the Holy Trinity is all within you. All right. So once again, I know as I was a child, I was praying on my knees, looking up towards the sky and saying my little prayer that they taught us how to do. And we went over this before. You know what I'm saying? Mommy, daddy, lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. All right. Everybody remember that little prayer as a child. So we all had to say that, or did say that, as babies and children growing up. Hell, some adults might still say it now. All right, but that is just one of the sciences, is that we now come to realization as we have now grown up. We're no longer believing in fairy tales, fables, Aesop stories, myths, or metaphors, allegories, as if it's literal history. We did that already. This is big boys and big girl classes now that we taking. Right? This is what these classes are. These lectures are dealing with the big boys and big girls. All right? In other words, grown-ass men, grown-ass women classes is what we're doing. So continue on. Continue on.
Okay.
Continue on. Keep going. We got a lot to roll through. So, right here. Now, what we find is that we speak about the word made flesh. All right? That's in the book of John. Well, we know John has been the Christian world's scriptural proof that God is in fact a formless spirit, not a man. Now, that formless spirit is the breath. But that formless spirit, that's the breath, dwells in woman and man. Hence, God is a man, is a woman, because that formless spirit is the breath. Right? And thus we can concur 100% with John 4:24, for God is a spirit. Once again, you go to Webster Dictionary, spirit and breath are synonymous. They're interchangeable. So we believe the Christian world has greatly misunderstood and misinterpreted that most revealing scripture. The proper interpretation of this verse depends on our understanding in its original context. The literal translation of both the Greek pneuma and Hebrew ruah words have rendered spirit is breath or air. The Egyptians, Neteru or Neter in particular, him and his sister is one, which is Shu and Tefnut. Right? Shu is the first begotten son of Atum. Just like Jesus is called the second Adam in the New Testament. All right? Symbolic to the fact that Jesus was the breath of life. When man or Adam was made, God blew into his nostrils the breath of life and made him a living soul. So this breath or air in motion is, according to the ancients, the intricate life force that animates all things. It is the prana, the ra. All right? It's the ba of the ancient Egyptians. Wade Noble, in his African psychology, describes the ba. The ba was the second of the 7 divisions of psychic nature. All right? But we also find that you add 2 more, which becomes 9. Right? But this is where you get the science of the 9 lives of a cat. The cat has 9 lives. Well, the word cat, all right, is correlating to the fact of the human body because it is spelled K-H-A-T, cat. And the 9 lives of the cat is talking about these divisions of the psychic nature. It represents, all right, aspects. Aspects, right here. It represents the transmission of the breath of life. The ancient believed that this was only one power, which is symbolically represented as the breath. In other words, the holy breath. And that this power or breath was transmitted from the ancients to the descendants. So see, this is how the firstborn is born. Each time is by way of manifesting within the flesh of each and every one of us. Shu represents the breath of life. Jesus' name in Hebrew is Yahshua. All right. Once again, Shu is in the middle of Yahshua. Yahweh is Yahweh. Shu is in the center of Yahweh. The Yah and the Way symbolizes the higher self and the lower self. Shu is the mediator between the lower self and the higher self. All right, this is what Jesus meant by the only way to the Father is but through me. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Symbolic to the fact of the breath of life, once again, the holy breath. All right, which is spoken of within the 101s, 102s, and the Moorish Holy Quran Circle 7. The ancients believe that this power or energy has always existed and always exists and will always exist. The Ba was the invisible source, like electricity, of all visible functions. The Ba is the vital principle which represents the essence of all things. All right? So, this Ba is equivalent to the Shu, which is equivalent to Asa, which is also equivalent to Heru. That is the Father and the Son. The Holy Spirit is the Mother Goddess principle, which is the Kundalini itself. And when the Kundalini or Setian force hits and strikes the pineal gland, it awakens Asa, and from that divine marriage in heaven produces Heru, Christ consciousness, or Kodesh. All right?
Now, God, you got a super chat from Sam Suni. He says, all praises to the great God Allah, honors to all prophets, honors to the chief and the chiefest. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Amin. Peace, family, and more power. Peace, God. Thank you.
Peace, Brother Sammy Suni. No doubt. Appreciate that.
Also, too, Shasetta said, I've been really focusing on my breathing during this moon energy.
Oh, yeah.
And then also we have a question from The Flash. She said, brother, if the Caucasians have misinterpreted the Bible, how do we correct the mistakes that have been made?
By going back to ancient Egypt, where all of these particular verses, biblical verses and chapters are derived. So it's still on the walls of ancient Kemet for the most part, or either in various museums throughout the world. As we know that they have taken them to the British Museum, the Cairo Museum, the Louvre in Paris, the New York Natural History and Science Museum. They're all over the world. So it was just about going to these various museums and taking your cameras, phones, etc., and record and put this information back together. And just do intense research like what we're trying to do here. You know? So
it's not sharing the screen.
It's not?
That's what I'm trying to do, but
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. We have to share this.
Okay.
Especially by the time we get to the breaths. So
somebody said the correct Bible is found in Ethiopia. It has 88 untouched books altogether.
Right, indeed. It does have 88 books as well. You know, have actually some of the books on which that is found within the Apocrypha and in the lost books of the Bible, forgotten books of Eden. As well as also they have a twist on that information. The remainder Philasians, or what they call Coptics, right? For the Philasians, you have them as the black Jews or Hebrews, but you have the Coptic Christians, right, who has this 88 untouched books altogether, in which that once you go through that information, we will see how esoteric that information is. All right? Even those who study the Kabbalistic teachings, the Jewish people do not believe that the Bible in the way in which that many has interpreted, such as the Christians. They do not believe that it is literal history. That is something in which that has been made for us to think as we are the Gentiles, as they say. Hence, we think with the genitals.
Wow.
You know, only thing we think about is the sexual nature. We don't think about gathering information, putting this type of information together. So they treat us as such. All right. Only thing they want to do is sex. You know, this is what they feel about us in this regard. All right. Said I ended up in another country. I did what Dorf taught in the Emerald Tablets, the last chapter. All right, Mr. Truth Teller. No doubt, no doubt. And basically what he said is that I totally understand because I've raised my Kundalini, aka electrical energy or current, and I ended up in another country. I did what Dorf or Tahuti taught in the Emerald Tablets in the last chapter. Mm-hmm. All right, so
astral projection.
Right, astral projection, materialization, dematerialization. These things are possible, and we got to understand is that, you know, average folks don't truly understand that because they are stuck within the realm of 1, 2, 3, ABC. You know, me, myself, and I. You know, this is where they are stuck at as far as their mentality. You know, it's not something in which that they would focus on. It's not like they focus on the breath because that is something in which that, as most people would say, we do every day. However, we do it too damn much. All right? What we have found out is that the average person breathes 18 breaths a minute, which equates over a 24-hour span, 25,920 times, which is equivalent to the influence of the sun traveling through the 12 zodiac signs, which is known as a great year. All right? It's called a precession of an equinox. That is the problem. In order to come from up under the influence of the planetary and the zodiacal, or what is also referred to as the constellations, we must, all right, we must, hold on here, let me get this. All right, we must slow down the breath in order to be able to come from up under that influence. Otherwise, we are under the influence of the zodiac and those situations and problems that is within our birth charts will reflect as such. And the problems we're talking about retrograde. If you study medical astrology, then we're looking at afflicted planets, you know, so forth and so on. So let's say you're a Gemini, all right? And you always got this type of crick or something going on in your shoulder, you know? Well, Gemini is the ruler over the shoulders, you know? You have to see if your planet is afflicted or not. All right, this is what this is all coming down to, is you understanding, number one, the birthday, birth time, and the birth city in which that you was conceived in. And on. Once that is done, then you're able to do an astrological chart. You can also do your name, which is a numerological chart. And once you have these things down pat of who you are and the influences, your strengths and your weaknesses, you are now able to capitalize on your weaknesses and turn them into strengths. All right? This is what the zodiac actually is preparing us for. All right? These are the tests. You know, David Icke and them, they refer to the you know, the Elohim, the Archon, the so-called demons or daemons, you know, all of these entities as beings in which that is doing a disservice. But you got to understand that everything is under the one God, or Ra, Allah, or Sa, regardless of the name which that you want to refer to, the supreme absolute source as. All right? This is what we're looking at. is how to master this information, master our physical, spiritual existence. And we can't do that just by looking at things one-sided, utilizing only 10% of our brain or our cerebral cortex. We want to be able to use more aspects of ourselves, of our mind, because the mind spans the whole 76 trillion quintillion miles diameter of the universe. So we want to be able to use all of that as much as possible. And the only way is to raise Kundalini, which is also dormant, but we have to resurrect it back up, to make it ascend, to rise like the phoenix from the ashes. Because as it sits at the root or base chakra, those are what is called the ashes. All right? So you want to raise the phoenix, the bird. Remember, birds and reptiles are one and the same based on anthropology or archaeology. All right? So we have to understand that. All right? So as it comes up back towards the crown and the third eye area, and it forms that cobra or that dragon, that golden dragon, all right, that is different than in the book of Revelation where it speaks of the red dragon. Right? The red dragon is talking about the lusts and the desires in which that builds up within the Kundalini. All right. However, you can transform lust into love. So transforming the red dragon into the golden dragon. All right. This is all alchemy. This is turning base lead into gold. All right. This is the science here, what we revealing. All right. So, all right. Thank you, love. Live life. No doubt. No doubt. Talk about the hypothalamus, pineal, and the pituitary glands that correlates with sound. Just join the convo, God. Thanks for the light. All right. So, as the Kundalini comes up, it strikes the medulla oblongata, all right, which correlates actually to the third eye, which is to the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland beams off the light onto the pineal gland. It's a white light, and you can actually see with your eyes closed. All right, in your mind's eye, you can see a beam of light. All right, and this beam of light taps right into the pineal gland and awakens the pineal gland. Once the Kundalini strikes the medulla oblongata, it sounds like a thump. Like a thump. All right? That's what is called the axe. And this is why at the back of the head you have, within Hebrew, the symbol or the letter Gulf. Qoph. Gulf. Gulf means axe. It also means the back of the head. It also means monkey. It also means copy within Hebrew. And that is the area of Tahuti. All right? That is the gathering place of Tahuti, the wisdom. It's talking about the memories in which that is located in the medulla oblongata. All right? The memories of your past lives, your previous incarnations are located at the medulla oblongata, which is right here at the back of the head. And this is why in Taoism, we tap 25 times, 3 times a day at this area to create scarification on the medulla oblongata in order to give us access to our past lives, as well as also to those experiences, as well as also photographic memory. All right, this is what we're talking about here. So, the pituitary gland, once it is struck by the Kundalini, beams light onto the pineal gland, but it also helps activate the hypothalamus. And upon the marriage in heaven between the pituitary gland, which looks like the opening of the vaginal canal like a cowrie shell, and of the pineal gland, which looks like the head of the penis, when both of them become engulfed in blood, it creates fiction in the brain, a vibration, tones. All right, you can actually start to hear tones in your brain. All right, and what happens is that it activates the thalamus. All right, so you have 4 parts of what is known as the third eye. Actually, the thalamus, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and the pineal gland. The pineal gland is the major or main one because it sits in the center of the brain, and it is the one in which that lead us into the area known as the Eye of Horus or the Eye of Heru, which hovers over top of the pineal gland in the center of the brain. Okay, that's what's going on.
Okay, Bashira, she wants to know about explain talking tongues.
All right, talking tongues, based on 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, speaks of this is one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit. All right, there's 9 fruits of Christ. All right, this is just one of them. Speaking in tongues, interpreting tongues, miracles, healing, knowledge, wisdom, comprehension or understanding, all right, as well as also discerning the spirits. These are the 9 fruits of Christ, all right. Speaking in tongues is simply you having the ability to tap into that area in the part of the brain that we just made mention of, the medulla oblongata, so that you are able to go back into your past lives and pick up on languages that you was never trained and taught in this life, but because you have tapped into the medulla oblongata, which is called the Akashic Records or your personal universal library, you are now able to speak languages, all right, that might have been deceased, dead languages. But they know that you're actually speaking a language, all right? Or you might be able to speak a language in which that may not have been that old, all right? So it all depends, but it would be some type of ancient language, whether it's Hebrew, Arabic, Syriac, Chaldean, Babylonian, what is called cuneiform, Mesopotamian, whatever term. There's many languages, and based on your ancestry, based on you are physical. Check this out. You are composed of 7 generations on your mother's side, 7 generations on your father's side. All right, so you are a physical concentration of all their thoughts and memories. So they could have came from other countries that would be more modern. All right, so it all depends, on what you're tapping into. Of course, once again, you can also go into your previous incarnations. And in your previous incarnations, you might have gone back to ancient Egypt. You might have gone back to Atlantis, Lemuria, whatever the case is, and spoke the language of the Nagal, which is one of the more ancient languages in which that was spoken, Lemuria. Okay? So, once again, that all depends on how far back you go as far as your previous incarnations, as well as also what is revealed within your DNA via your medulla oblongata, your Akashic records, your own personal Akashic records. Okay?
Somebody said I had an accent when I raised my energy.
Yeah, that happens. That happens, most definitely.
Yeah, some people actually will speak a language that they don't even know.
Right. And once again, when that happens, you want to make sure that there's people there, because there's a message in which that you are conveying. And so you want somebody who's there who can interpret You know what I'm saying? Or at least record what is going on with you so that it can be decoded later on by someone who can speak.
So the message can be received.
Right. So the message can be received. There's no point in you just speaking in tongues if there's nobody that's going to be able to interpret what what's being said. And that's what happens every damn given Sunday, in church. And that's one of the problems and one of the flaws, And sometimes they even sound like they doing nothing but cuss words up in there. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that they playing. This is not real. You know what I'm saying? Real Kundalini, lifting you up, creating what is known as speaking in tongues, give you that ability in order to actually sound like a actual language. Not no play. This is real. All right?
Okay, also too, we got somebody who wants to know, do sound vibrations and hertz frequencies and tones stimulate the chakras?
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's what we're going to get into in a few minutes here. Once we get everything pulled up, that's what we're doing. We're going to get into the sounds of healing and get into, okay, he says, what about Pegasus? Let me see here. Somebody asked about the Pegasus. I did a video on that. Let's see. All right. Let me see. Most of the time, plenty of energy, experience, do back surgery. All right. Another question. I haven't experienced Kundalini yet. Do you think the back surgery I had, L4, is the result of present day on my neck vertebrae? 3 of them are damaged. All right. 1 is completely closed. Yes, but remember your chakras and your Kundalini are astral energies. So regardless of the physical body, long as your endocrine glands are working, it still should work. All right. If not, it will burn through the one in which that is closed. All right. And actually help to correct some of the damage before you try to raise Kundalini, which actually that's what salat is. When you make salat, all right, when you're making salat, the word salat means to raise fire. Salat does not mean to worship. It means to raise fire, all right? So salat, when you are doing the 7 phases of salat, right? We're talking about takbir, you're doing qiyam, you're doing ruku, you're doing sajda, you're doing jalsa, you're doing sajda, sitting again, and you saying, and you salaming your angels to the right and to the left, so forth and so on. Those 7 positions correlates to the activation and the same positions that's found within the sun salutations that is found within yoga. That's no coincidence. It's also found, the same positions are found on the walls of ancient Egypt. All right, which is known as the Egyptian yoga, which is within Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Dr. Muatta Ashby's books, Egyptian yoga. All right, so we have to understand, the connections between all of this information, because it's nothing new. There's nothing new. All right? Yes, it's liquid light. Exactly. And it looks like a whitish mercury color as it comes up through the hollow area in your spinal column called the Shushuna. All right? And when the Kundalini comes up, it burns through what is called the ethereal threads or etheric threads. All right? So it will burn through what is closed. And they probably told you it's completely closed. But it can't be completely closed because there's 31 nerves inside of the spinal column. So it can't be completely closed. All right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be getting nerve responses to your organs and to your endocrine glands and throughout your body. Because that is the tree, all right, of knowledge of good and evil in which that runs through your body. All right? As the energy comes down, is the tree of knowledge, good and evil. And as the energy goes up, is the tree of life. All right, that is nothing more than the tree of life and the tree of the clip-off within the Kabbalistic teachings. Descending energy, ascending energy. All right, Jacob told us this within Genesis. All right, 31st chapter, if I'm not mistaken, where it speaks about that he's seen angels ascending and descending upon Jacob's ladder, or what became known as Jacob's ladder. Right, upon a ladder. And so that ladder is nothing more than your spinal column, the 33 vertebrae. Hence the reason why they say Jesus died at the age of 33. You know, all of these things correlate. All right. All right, I'm going to get a numerology reading. Is it good for finding a future wife? No. No. It's not good for finding a future wife. You need an astrological chart to find a future wife and the characteristics, as well as also it will reveal the time when that will happen. All right, as well as also compatibility chart will tell you how compatible that y'all are. All right. What about Pegasus and the hypothalamus? Right. Well, remember on the previous video, I did the brain, the Crystal City, and the Book of Revelation. I spoke about Pegasus and the hippocampus area in the brain. The word hypo or hippo is just like hippopotamus, all right, which is symbolic to a horse, all right. You know, something that's big, hippo, hip, you know what I'm saying? It's a white horse. Hippocampus means horse, seahorse, or a white horse, which is part of the white portion of the brain, or white matter. So the white matter and the hippocampus area of the brain means white horse. That is Pegasus. All right? All of the prophets rode on a white horse. Jesus come out the sky in the book of Revelations on a white horse. All right? Muhammad was taken up into the seven heavens by a white horse called the Baruch, which means lightning beast, or beast of lightning, monster beast, or lightning, whatever you want to refer to it as, however it's translated. Krishna was taken up into on a white horse. Prometheus, in order to get the fire from the sun, was taken up on a white horse. Of course, it was called Pegasus within the Greek philosophy. And many times, you know, over it speaks about this white horse throughout mythology. But this is talking about in the hippocampus area of the brain. All right. I've been doing Manti Chia's book, Cultivating Male Sexual Energy. It's kind of challenging. Yes, it is, because Manti Chia hold back some keys. All right. If you are a woman, the energy in which that you put here within your navel or right below your navel chakra area, and you store the energy by taking your tongue behind your two upper teeth and pulling up your perineum. Right, for a woman, it's right between, it correlates to the, what's called the G-spot area, which is about 1.5 to 3 inches inside of her vaginal womb, but it's between her vaginal canal and also her anus. All right, for the male, it's between the testicles, as well as also his anus. It's called the $1 million spot, and the woman can press there in order to stop the man from orgasm, or what is called semen retention. All right. Now, it's real simple. What happens is that Manti Chia, instead of telling a woman to raise the energy as she breathes in, raise the energy up to the top of the head, and then allow the energy to fall back down the spine, back towards the perineum, he does not tell the woman that. He tells the woman to do the exact same thing as the man, which is to take the energy here, store the energy here, but then move down to the perineum and up the back as you breathe. And then as you exhale, it falls towards the front. All right, that makes the woman more masculine. All right. And it does a disservice to the woman's feminine energy. That is a suppression of her femininity. All right. And of her emotional body. All right. And this is done purposely, we believe, by Mantak Chia, because our supreme, or our grand master, Sunyata Saraswati, who wrote the book Jewel and the Lotus, specifically told my wife and I that Mantak Chia did a disservice to the women by doing that. And that he explained to us why that was wrong, and the proper Tibetan teachings in which that I just revealed to you. Okay? So that is the proper Tibetan teachings, is for the woman to absorb the energy into the navel chakra, right below the navel chakra, and raise that energy up the front. All right, thank you, brother Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy is in the building. All right. All right, so that is how you do that. Let me see, as I speak different languages when I pray, it starts in English and changes. All right, Rose, no doubt. That's what we're talking about. All right, that, see, you might already be having, every time you pray, you know, which prayer is a conduit of being able to raise Kundalini itself with positive affirmations, with positive decrees, you know, words of power. You know, all of these things take place as you pray, you know. And so, yes, prayer causes you to activate Kundalini, that internal power. Christians refer to it as feels like fire shut up in my bones. Right? That's what the Kundalini is. It is the fire shut up in your bones. All right? So that is the Holy Spirit. All right, brother Self Elevation, peace. Back in effect, family, no doubt. We back in effect. We here. We are here. Finally. We're on the air. All right. Oh, no. Can't do that. All right. So,
I'm gonna get this.
Okay. Queen, the goddess is still working on it. She says she gonna get this. All right. The state of your loved ones is based on romanticism. Love is an illusion. Only compassion and unconditional love for one's own soul, black dot, exists. Well, true indeed. No doubt, second nature. No doubt about that. You know, but love, you know, of course, you know, if I take the, you know, romanticism, you know, that Roman, you know, love, you know, we already know what the Romans was doing. So, you know, we ain't trying to deal with that type of love anyway. Right? The Greeks and Romans, we know what they was known for. All right. So, we ain't doing that type of love, but the compassion, the mercy, you know, and as you stated, the unconditional love is something in which that we definitely have to learn how to, have with one another. You know, and there's a lot of gossiping and backbiting in which that happens instead of, you know, critiquing and correcting. You know what I'm saying? And correcting. That's
selfishness.
You know, and that's what we have to know how to do. You know. So let's see. I personally do not believe Mantak Chia is raising his Kundalini because I have yet to hear him talk about the amazing things that comes along with it. Well, see, the thing is that he teaches Qigong, Tai Chi, and sexology, Taoist sexology. So he speaks about the Kundalini, but he does not go into details, and yes, he doesn't. I mean, you know, that once again, you know, he probably don't go into it a lot because of the fact that he caters to a European, you know,
audience, and they'll spontaneously human combust if they
right
Kundalini raised to their pineal.
Right,
so they got to be careful.
Right, if their pineal gland is calcified, and they raise Kundalini, and it strikes the pineal gland and it's calcified, they will and can spontaneous combust. You know, so, you know, he doesn't teach that Just like some of the yogi masters that came here in the 50s and 60s did not teach that information, because they feared, they was trying to give more so of a moral code and give them just enough that they was able to maybe learn the science of healing somewhat. All right, so I heard that Mantak Chia stole some info from Master Choa Kosui. Master Choa Kosui, he is the founder of Pranic Healing, or the rediscoverer of Pranic Healing, and he took his information from the Astarian sect. He was part of the Astara. All right, and being part of the Astara, no,
I think so.
Okay, and being part of the Astara, what happens is that, oh yeah, there it is.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is. All right, we're there finally. But after I answer this question, we're gonna go on in. All right, so technically, let me see, we got it.
Yeah.
Is it coming up? It ain't coming up over here.
It will. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right, so there it is. All right, so Pranic Healing is what Grandmaster Choa Kosui gave to the world as he was a student of the Astaria sect, which is like a Rosicrucian branch, or in the mysteries they teach the ancient Egyptian mysteries, Pythagorean mysteries, which there is no Pythagorean, mystery in that sense, because Pythagorean allegedly spent 24 years out of the 40 years in Egypt, and he was the one who was there the longest amount of time out of any of the so-called Greek philosophers, right? Which we know that they weren't Greeks in the sense of the Pale Greeks today. They had to have been Minoans or Cretans, as they was called, because at the time, the ancient Egyptian mystery school did not allow Europeans into the ancient mysteries. They could not even go into the mysteries. All right. Really, what we're looking at here is the origin of information as it transfers. So, yes, we had, Grandmaster Choa Kosui. He had certain information that he got from the Astaria sect. He formed it into an actual program. Mantak Chia comes along. Yes, he utilized some of that information. I utilized some of that information. Why? Because I was trained by brothers who was part of Grandmaster Choa Kosui's Pranic Healing, basic and advanced. All right? As well as also, we trained under Mantak Chia. However, when we got the Master Sunyata, Grandmaster Sunyata Saraswati in 2005, and we was his students until 2000, personally sat under him till 2014 for 9 years. All right? And then even before that, my previous teacher from 1995 to 2004, which was another 9 years, under Prince Ramesses Abel Bey, who's known as Proud Melchizedek, also known as Hutan Tupac Bey, the crown prince of the Washita Empire, or Empire Washita. He also taught me the sciences of pranic healing, so forth and so on. So, this is where we find these connections at, is through our teachings. So, yes, there's some mixing and, and trying to tie this information together and find out what techniques works the best, for our people. All right. So, that's what I got to say about that. So, yes, Mantak Chia took some. Hell, I took some. We all was taught, in order to learn the science of this healing. So, it's necessary. All right.
Someone said, what's the purpose of dreams?
Oh, the purpose. Oh, okay. The purpose of dreams is real simple. Number one, when you go to sleep at night, let's say you spend about 8 hours sleep. Well, that's a third of your life sleep because there's only 24 hours in a day. So that means a third of your life was spent sleep. All right. Now, you have dreams during that time, during that 8 hour span. No, you don't have dreams the whole time. But the fact is that you are drawing energy from the astral plane in order to help revitalize your body. All right. Now, let's say sleep is the sister to death. Some say that sleep is the cousin to death. Well, if that's the case, then that means that you dreaming is for the purpose of tapping into the astral plane, which is known as the dream realm or world, which is also called heaven because that have the tendency of being the place where you go to after you leave your physical body. So technically, you are making a place for yourself every night when you go to sleep. That's the purpose of dreams. All right, is to make a place for yourself. Right? If you want a better understanding, watch the movie What Dreams May Come. Robin Williams. Go and get that movie, What Dreams May Come by Robin Williams. All right. It says, I heard white boys was tearing their dicks and balls up by breathing from man-type chair. Didn't know what they was doing. Leaking giz and all.
What's giz?
You know what it is. Yeah, brother self. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. No doubt. You know, man-type chairs, exercises. I remember Brother Azariah, you know, told me that, yeah, you got to watch out for some of that stuff that Man-type Chi is teaching, you know, because, you know, you tear your stuff up, you know, if you mess around with some of his stuff. All right.
Wow.
That is also what we heard.
And trying to stagnate the woman, mess up himself.
Yeah. All right. All right, y'all. We getting ready to go on in. Get on in. All right. So let's come on down. Let's get into the information now.
Okay.
I'm not moving over here, but hey.
Because it's a delay.
Come on down.
Okay.
Let's come on down. Keep going. I'll tell you when to stop.
Okay.
Please.
Fast or slow?
Right there.
Right here?
Let's go back to the breath. Come up. Right there. Yep. All right. Come on, one more. Come up. Up. No. Down there. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
No. That's right there with Webster. Yeah, okay. So, Webster, 9th edition, defines air as breath, or the gaseous mixture surrounding the earth. A gas is a loose assortment of various types of atoms. All right? And the atoms, in turn, is an extremely tiny ball of energy. Right? Fritjof Keffer, in his Tao Physics, observes atoms consist of particles, and these particles are not made of any material substance. The discovery that mass is nothing but a form of energy has forced us to modify our concept of a particle in an essential way. In moderate physics, particles are not seen as a consistent of any basic stuff, but a bundle of energy. So we know that waves and particles, all right, upon observation, you have the double slit experiment in physics. The particles go through only one side of the slit. Upon non-observation, the particles go through both sides of the slit, and as it goes through, it transforms into waves. So energy then is the root of air. And in the ancient world, energy and spirit were synonymous. Both spirit and matter, the incorporeal, and the corporeal, are two manifestations of the same one reality. Theologians call this one reality God. Philosophers call it that, or I am that which that I am. Scientists call it energy. Energy, eternal. According to the law of conservation of energy, which states that energy is nothing, is what? Neither created nor destroyed, but constantly transformed. But whether we call it God, that, or energy, this one essence is the same, and from it springs forth both matter and spirit, which is breath. So right here, Madame Blavatsky, matriarch or of the Theosophical Society, she states that spirit and matter, or Parasha and Prakriti, are both the two primeval aspects of the one and second lists. The two are different forms of the same basic stuff, in which the same way the ice and steam are different forms of water. This one reality has been found in every major world religion to be the beginning from whence all else springs. The Hindu call it basically Parabram, and Parabram becomes Abram within your Bible, or Abraham, right? Brahman. The Zoroastrians call it Zeruana, right? Or Kani. To the Egyptians, it is called Kanif. All right. Within Arabic, it's called Neph. All right. Within Hebrew, it's called Nephish or Neph. Excuse me. And within Arabic, it's called Nephish. And to the Hebrew, it's also called Ein Sof. All right. So, you know, come on down now. All right. The unification right here. The unification, according to Egyptian Yoga Volume 1 by Dr. Muata Ashby, set joins forces to tie up the symbol of union, Sematawi, and this symbol represents the union of Upper and Lower Egypt, which is talking about your upper self, higher self, and your lower self, under one ruler, yourself. But also at a more subtle level, it refers to the union of one's higher self and lower self, Heru and Set, as well as the control of one's breath, life, through the union, control of the lungs, breathing organs. All right, so this is the importance. So the unification between the lower self and the higher self comes by way of the breath. This is what we was talking about. The breath, the only way to get to the Father in heaven, which is talking about the Osar, which is the soul embedded inside of the pineal gland, is by operating the breath. The breath is the medium, all right, between the lower self and the higher self. This is shown to us as you see Set out the back of the head, which is near the medulla oblongata of Heru, just like Yoda is at the back of the head of Luke Skywalker. All right, and of course Luke is another word for Lucifer, and Yoda is another word for Judah or Yahuda, which is Tawhidi, wisdom, which is talking about at the back of the medulla oblongata once again. All right, so not, however, how our ancient mothers and fathers understood the spirit-matter dichotomy. To them, spirit and matter were two aspects of the whole, and the whole depends on the harmonious union of the two. All right, so you have to be able to bring in unison those two aspects of yourself. Continue on. Thank you. Reality for the ancients was always conceived as the synthesis of visible and invisible, the material and the immaterial, the cognitive and the emotive, the inner and the outer. He said that the Supreme Being, according to the ancients, all right, simultaneously spiritual and material. Egyptologist Theophile Obenga observed that the opposition between matter and spirit does not exist in ancient Egypt. So this idea of good and bad that we have, that was taught to us in Christianity, that stems from the Zoroastrian teachings, because they took the ancient Egyptian teachings of Heru and Set, did not actually exist like in the way that we see it now. Right? The opposition between matter and spirit did not exist in ancient Egypt, where nature formed a whole, matter and consciousness intermingled. As you see, this is why We see Set as something negative, but Set is now sitting at the back of the head of equal status with Heru. This is what we was talking about. Lucifer now raises up and transforms into Christ. Lucifer is the Kundalini. Uriel, the Archangel Uriel, goes back up into the heavens through the sons of God, which is through the various chakras, to sit in equal footing now with who we refer to as Michael. He who dares to be like God, which is talking about your crown chakra. The same as with the image of God with the two faces, a man and a woman turned in opposite directions. This is God as spirit, man, and matter, woman. Right? This is what this is talking about. So spirit and matter are both modes of the same reality, y'all. Right? This is what they're talking about. One and the same. We see the Gnostics had a problem because the Gnostics, some of the Gnostic sects believed that matter, which is the material body, the physical body, was evil, totally evil, and that the soul was incarcerated, hence the term incarnated, all right, in the flesh. All right? Mm-hmm. However, we understand it to be equal footing in the sense of being able to raise the flesh, the vibration of the flesh, higher. All right? That's what we believe. We believe that you can raise the flesh to transform into light. How we know is because of what is called the golden dragon body, what is also known as the celestial body, the indestructible body. It is also referred to as the rainbow body. So the flesh can raise and become indestructible. To the ancients, spirit was masculine and matter was feminine. They were represented as twin gods, male and female. This is where you get Shu and Tefnut, called the mother and father of man. Sometimes they were shown in a sensual embrace, as in Shiva and Shakti. All right, in India, they represented the sensual embrace between spirit and matter. At other times, the two gods are welled into one androgynous deity, as we just showed you. All over the world, God was often depicted as a great hermaphrodite, a man with male and female organs. This is where you get this so-called, quote-unquote, Baphomet symbol from. All right, because this is what we already thought. This is nothing more than what Eliphas Levi was trying to portray in the Baphomet symbol. But in an art form, Atum represented the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt region. Egyptians believed that Atum was a bisexual god, not bisexual in the sense of having sex with male and female, but within itself, with characteristics of both male and female in his body. In old Egyptian analog, Atum is the great he-she, which really means the complete one. Okay? So we're not promoting homosexuality, lesbianism, none of that. We are telling you the science behind what the ancient Egyptians was conveying between the unification between Set and Heru. Okay? What happened?
It's bothering some people that it's there.
Oh, the picture?
Because it's on top of the words.
Oh, okay. Well, we can't.
It would bother me too. It look like it's bigger. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, y'all. All right, so we're just gonna have to read it as she slides through.
I try to slide it up higher.
And she slide to the left, slide to the right, slide. Okay. But anyway. All right. So ultimately, there is really no such thing as good and bad. Evil equals live in its opposite way. It is a matter of perception and conditioning. In fact, you are merely worshiping polarity, which is one of the 7 principles of Tahuti, the universal principles of Tahuti. There's 7. You have mentalism. You have what is called causation or cause and effect. You have vibration, rhythm. You have sex, which is gender. All right? You have polarity, and you have
cause and effect.
I said that.
Sex.
Mm-hmm. But polarity, all right?
Somebody said, I know they did.
But polarity is one of those 7 principles of Tahuti. Okay? So I'm going to say it again. Let's get it right. Mentalism, correspondence, which is the one I was looking for.
Okay.
Cause and effect, vibration, rhythm, gender, which is sex, and polarity. These are the 7 principles. All right? So that is, what we're dealing with. All right? In particular, that polarity comes by way of your spinal column. Right? That is the latter, descending and ascending energy. That is what gives you the various perceptions on this planet. The supreme axiom, as above, so below, as within, so without. All right? These are the 7 streams of energy that emanate from the cosmic sources. Continue on. Please, and enters also into our solar system by way of our sun acting as a channel. All right? For this electromagnetic energy and our poles, the North and South Pole, Antarctica and the Arctic, bringing in what is called the Aurora Borealis, or what is known as the Northern and Southern Lights. Right? Get the gospel and the zodiac, the secret truth about Jesus. All right? Continue on. All the way down. All right? Get that book.
Moderators, make sure you put that book in the chat.
Continue on.
These are different chapters of the Quran.
Yes.
That reference the same.
The constellations and zodiacs. But we'll continue on.
No, that's how it starts.
And
The Magic Temple by Professor Hilton Hotima.
Oh yeah, you got to get the Magic
That's a great
Temple.
book.
Continue on. You got to get the Magic Temple. There's no doubt about that. No playing with that.
Our ancestors had it written on the walls of Kemet.
No doubt. All right, so we're going to get into the science of breath right now. We're just coming on down because a lot of this stuff you don't have to know about yet. Get that book. Jesus, right here. Jesus as the Sun Throughout History by D.L. Murdoch. All right. The Bible even tells you that. Continue on.
Wait, it's the last of it.
No, it can't be. It is?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need to go back up. We done missed it then.
We done passed it.
Yeah, we
What
done
we going
passed
to?
it.
The
Yeah.
breathing sound?
Yeah, go. Is this Louisiana? Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Louisiana. That sure is. So, yeah, come on up then.
Was it the top?
We done, a little bit, yeah, probably near the middle. All right, so we're going to do the breathing exercises.
Because we want to do that with y'all,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
during this
Definitely.
blood moon.
Right. Which is actually the sounds of healing, and this is what we're talking about. So we're going to get into that information. I don't know what's going on. I don't think that was the end of it. Because that don't make no sense. Let me show you, see? Hold on, y'all. We got to get it for you.
For those that are visual.
Yeah. We know we got people that's visual because y'all was complaining when we were just doing this joint last week without the vision. So without the visual. So we definitely got to get that. All right. So let's see.
Is it on Melanin Conference? Or?
No, it's on here. I go to the slide and then you can slide it on down.
Babe, I'm telling you, it's not pulling up on here. That's all we got on here.
What's the last slide number that you got?
82.
No. All right, here we go. This is 215. That's where we at. So yeah, so it didn't pull up for whatever reason.
82.
No, that is wrong as I don't know what. Is that because it's too small? I mean, too big? I don't understand. But anyway, all right, we're gonna go into the sounds of power, the cosmic sounds of healing, and basically we're gonna start. Hopefully, okay. Let's see if we can get this. I don't know
because it's really important to do the breathing techniques. And it's very powerful when we do it together. Like y'all heard in the last live that we did with Dr. Derek, he was talking about when we come together and do group meditations and stuff like that, it helps to enhance our abilities and our connection with the divine energy. You know, it helps to raise our vibration.
You see, all of it is on here. 258.
Well, that's the only thing I could think of is yours is a HP and mine's a Mac. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, but it's pulling up all of these.
Well, what should I do?
Let's see. Well, okay. Yeah, go ahead. So, I have no idea. So, what we're gonna do, y'all? We just gonna have to, do the joint.
We can show them your computer.
All right.
If you want them to see it.
All right. Please cut that off. Can we cut?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You ready?
All right.
Go to
Yeah, let's see how it looks.
Media source. I don't know how to put your computer on as a media source. We never did that. Let's do audio for now. Since I don't have it up. Or if you could email it to me.
Nah. It's too large. Alright, so basically we're going to go through the sounds of healing. These healing sounds or tones was taught to me by Prince Bey, who was the crown prince of the Empire Washita, the Dagdamanya.
May he rest in peace.
And when I met him in 1995, he began to start training and teaching me in the sciences. All right, so we talking about some heavy Rosicrucian information, and really we talking about how he was able to put this information together. He was also said that he found this information by way of from out of Mulata Ashby's African Holistic Health book, which Dr. Lady Africa, sometimes he just put things in the book and he don't go into no detail about it whatsoever. All right. Another Rosicrucian. All right. Based on my studies and based on what I've seen from his works. All right. So we got these grand masters giving up these keys. But here, this is what Prince Bey taught us. Each sound we would say 7 times. All right. The first one is the I sound. All right. These are all vowels. These are the power, the powers of the vowels. All right. If you look at the word vowel means oath or sacred. El within Hebrew means God. So you're talking about sacred word of God or the sacred tone of God. All right. But this is what the word vowel essentially means. All right. Vowels go in between consonants, and the root of consonant is constant. And the word constant means that which remains the same. So what changes up the frequency of the consonants, all right, or the verb or the vowels? The vowels changed it up. This is why Many years ago, they had this song, A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes why. Alright, that joint was out for like shit back in the I think that was like 79. You know what I'm saying? 78, 79, whenever it was, that joint was out. And it was a lot of info that they dropped in that. Alright, but we're gonna start with the I tone, and the I is actually Ain, which is in Hebrew or in Arabic letter, which is the symbol of the eye, in particular the third eye. So the I tone actually activates the third eye, right? The pineal gland in particular, the cerebral, where we get the word cherubims from, right? The hypothalamus gland get activated by the eye. The central nervous system is activated, and it radiates out towards the top of the head or crown chakra. The spiritual visions, the clairvoyance, even the male Sadekian energy or consciousness, Christ consciousness, is illuminated by way of the I tone. So we normally sit straight up with our hands on our knees. All right. We take a deep breath in. We do 3 ohms. Now we begin to activate and open the third eye, the first eye as it should be called, the pineal gland. We start with the I tone, vowel, I. Last one. Okay. Now we're going to go to the Y sound, because A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. The Y tone opens the cerebellum, the medulla oblongata, the reptilian portion or brain stem, the limbic brain, which is at the back of the head, the medulla oblongata area, the Akashic records, memories, the past lives and photographic memory, the Akashic records, which is called Akasha, which was the name of Aaliyah within the movie when she played the vampire.
Queen of the Dam.
Queen of the Dam. All right, her name was Akasha. And in Sanskrit, the name means sky, space, or ether. All right, so these records are described to contain all knowledge of human experience and history of the cosmos. They are metaphorically described as a library, the universal library, and other analogs commonly found in discourse on the subject includes a universal computer or the mind of God. The records have been referred to by different names: the cosmic mind, the universal mind, the collective unconsciousness, or the collective subconscious. All right, so we're going to tap into that area, which is at the medulla oblongata, and it's called Y. All right, it is the Y, the letter Y.
Now, some of these sacred sounds you're not going to see from a Caucasian European perspective.
No.
This is because we're not that. So
Right.
we give you from a perspective that's melanated.
Right.
And honestly, they do have to be careful because they will spontaneously human combust.
Right.
So when you have a teacher, especially with your melanin, you don't have to worry about those types of things. So on this chart, you won't see the Y. But however, we are
Right.
tapping into a different vibration.
Right. Plus, we explain what we're doing. All right. There's no explanation here. It's just letters that's put before you as far as the frequency of the chakras, the colors of the chakras, the name of the chakras, and then they give you the vowels.
90 seconds.
Which are good. But however, let's get into the areas in which they be tapping into more of the brain usage. So this is why we added the Y, which taps into the medulla oblongata, which is at the back of the head, which is your Akashic records, your own personal Akashic records. So let's begin 7 times.
Why?
Last one.
You want to do this on yourself. You also want to do this with your family. It'll help to strengthen your relationships. And if you're also building, do it with each other. It helps to strengthen our bonds. Also, too, when you're doing it, you want to breathe in deeply like a baby. You want to make your belly go out like a balloon when you bring the air in, like an inflated balloon. And then when you exhale with the sound vibration, you want it to deflate like a balloon as the air comes out of you.
All right. The next letter vowel is the E. All right. That taps into the cerebrum, the pituitary gland, the thalamus gland, and the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Here you want to focus on your forehead, your brow area.
Right. This is for mental clarity. So let's start 7 times with the E. Last one.
E.
Okay. The next one helps with the thyroid gland, the parathyroid gland, the barytheric gland, throat chakra as it's called, your creative expression and clairaudience. That is the A vowel. The last one.
And as you can see on the chart, they got it switched.
Right.
The next sacred sound vibration is the green vibration. It's the heart. It's the ah sound.
Right. That helps with the thymus gland, the lymphatic system, circulatory system, the lungs, respiratory system, the heart, as my wife just said, as well as the name, even Allah, is a long vowel sound of the A and activates the heart chakra. Another example is the Lord Prayer, as it uses the ah sound to open up the heart chakra, as in our Father who art in heaven. And of course, it ends in amen. All right, so we want to do 7 times the ah sound.
Ready?
Last one.
That felt so good. Okay.
All right, so let's go now to the next one, which is the H, the ha sound, because Y and H, all part of the vowels. We're going to go to the H, all right, which is pancreas organs, your left hemisphere of the brain, your nervous system, and muscles. Also, your solar plex chakra as it correlates to, and it's Last one. All right. We're going to add a couple more in here. That's not necessarily vowels, but it helps in the same sense. We're going to add the ka sound, K-H-A, K-A-H, the ka sound, and that deals with the spleen, all right, organ, and it's part of the solar plex chakras. Also helps with the stomach area, all right. So let's do that. Last one. All right, another one that we're going to add to it is not a vowel. However, it helps cleanse the liver is the sh. This is why liver is said to be the place where anger is stored at. And matter of fact, 1 minute outburst of anger shuts down your whole immune system for 6 hours. So, shh. The same when you're in a library and you're talking too loud, people turn around and shush you. All right, this is why it feels good when you say shit. You know what I'm saying? when you're angry. All right, so.
And how you know it's working? You'll hear your body making noises. You know?
Right. So,
also, you can enhance it with the colors that you see, as well as putting your hand on the areas in your body.
All right. So let's do the sh sound 7 times. Remember, it moves anger from the liver. Last one. Okay. Now we're going back into the vowels. The next one is the O. All right. The letter O. All right. And it helps with the adrenal glands, the kidneys, the sacral area, which is your DNA center, along with your navel chakra. It helps with your gallbladder, your stomach, your small and large intestines. It is, once again, your navel and sacral chakra. So your creativity and the reserve energy, your emotions, all of that is right there at the O. This is why when you was a child, you had a tummy ache or belly ache, you went to your mama, you owing, because that is the natural sound in which that you want to make. All right, that's the natural sound that you make when your tummy is hurting, your belly hurting. All right, so you want to go now and do these 7 tones of the vowel O. We begin. Last one. Let me tell you this. If you sneeze, cough, or your voice cracks as you're doing these tones, that means there's a blockage in that particular area. All right? Let's go.
Yawn?
That just means that you're being awakened. That's all it means. You're being awakened. All right? Because when you yawn, you
get oxygen to your brain.
Bingo. So we're going to now do the last one, which is the U. All right? That's the genitalia, the prostate gland, the penis, the testes, the uterus, the womb, as they call it, the clitoris, the ovaries, the perineum, the anus, the G-spot, the bladder, urinary tract, skeleton system, the spinal column, 33 vertebrates, all of that. All right? Your skeleton system, all of that. The U-tone.
It's the color red.
Right. And it's the lowest frequency, so
put a little bass in your voice.
Bingo. Put some bass. How low can you go? Death row. What a brother knows. One skin back is the incredible. All right, that's speed for those that know. That's old school. You don't know nothing about that. All right, so
some of y'all do.
All right, we're gonna go to you. And that was your last one. All right, so. All right. Oh, okay. You said you do, Seth, you know about the bass. All right.
And we brought the energy from the top,
right,
from the crown to the root, but you can also go up as well. But we brought the energy down.
Right. We did descending energy because that's prana coming down into your chakras as you open and awaken them. So the energy comes down into you. All right.
And this really, really works. I know this one sister, she told me in college, she was like, I haven't been able to use the bathroom in a couple of days. I was like, oh, that's easy. Just do the O sound. And we started doing it together. And she was like, "Oh, excuse me. Let me go to the bathroom." And then she was just like, "I cannot believe that this really works." You know?
It does.
But a lot of time when you're worried about money and different things like that, that'll be signs of constipation, in which she was worried about money. So these sacred sounds really help. We just got a call today. My brother was saying his mom's knees, his grandmother's knees, was in a lot of pain. So you can do these sacred sounds in order to align the body, in order to heal the body. It helps. It really does. Somebody asked earlier, does sound help to cleanse the chakras? Yes, and these are the sounds.
These are the sounds that help cleanse the chakras. That's why we spoke about and said that all of them cleanse the chakra. The pineal gland is cleansed by the eye tone, the pituitary gland by the E tone, the medulla oblongata area at the back of the head by the Y. The A is the tone that you use for your thyroid and parathyroid glands. Your throat chakra is A. Somebody asked that question. The AH, the tone, is what cleanses the lungs and your thymus gland and your heart. The AHH, the HAH is what cleanses the solar plexus. All right. It also helps with the stomach, the spleen, as well as also the liver. But we added those other two in there to focus on the spleen and the liver. Then, of course, the O helps with the digestive system, as my wife stated. And the U helps with the genitalia. So we hit all of the endocrine glands in the body by doing these particular vowel sounds. All right. So once again, your pineal gland, pituitary gland, your thyroid, parathyroid glands, your thymus gland, your spleen and pancreas, your adrenal glands, as well as also the uterus and the ovaries for the woman, and the prostate and the testes for the man. Mm-hmm. These are the 7 major glands in your body, and each of these tones that we just did hit every single one of them. Hence, removing negativity, removing blockages, stagnated energy from these particular areas. All right, and allowing your chakras to spin properly. Thank you, June. Much respect. Yes, you can use that to heal your thyroid gland. No problem. Mm-hmm. Also, what you need is you need some iodine. Potassium iodine and iodine. That is what you need. All right, June. Iodine is what is needed. All right. Yes. We do 7 each.
What she been taking? She been taking iodine.
Okay, word. Mm-hmm. All right, 7 each. Yes, each one. All right. After you finish, it takes about 45 minutes. All right. If you do it and get into it, it can take 20 minutes. If you're not into it,
We will send. That's a good question. Can you do it more than 7 times? You can. However, you can also do it longer. When you pull the energy down into you and make your belly big, you can actually hold each sacred sound tone. You'll notice even longer. Right. Like for 30 seconds.
Right. We wasn't trying to stay on here.
It would add to the meditation. But you can, and you'll notice too that the ones that you have no problem, no blockages with, you'll be able to go a longer time with those. But the ones that you have blockages in, they won't be as long as the other ones.
Bingo. And those are the ones that you need to work on. Mm-hmm. You get it? All right. So, we getting ready to say out, y'all. You know what we do. Continuing now for days and weeks and months and years to come.
We are moving towards our cherished goal of health, wealth, knowledge of ourselves, enlightenment, happiness, joy, and full contentment.
Every economic endeavor in which that we wish to be involved is bringing increasing rewards.
We have so much
joy and happiness and abundance and success in our life that we're able to help and share with those
others who are sincere along the way.
And we're moving closer toward the
oneness of God and guidance and the full release of our higher selves.
Ashe, y'all. We out. We love y'all.
Put that energy in there and make it manifest. Peace. Thank y'all so much.
Indeed. Zai hu haka pata. Ashe, ashe, ashe.